Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
You guys are going to love the second half of the podcast with Jeremy Dugas as he kind of discusses his intentionality at random. Not sure how else to say it, but he's extremely intentional about loving on people and looking after people, but kind of random at times at his, I should say spontaneous. Because what would you add?
I'd just say that it was super infectious, like just the stuff he was talking about being super random and just prioritizing other people. It just hearing him talk about it made you want to prioritize other people and be more intentional in your relationships.
He's the kind of guy too that when you meet him, you feel like you've known him forever. Like I feel like I've known him since I was a kid. We really just align in a lot of ways, and
he's just so happy.
He's so happy and he's so giving. So. Great podcast. Listen to the end. Listen to his top book recommendation.
And he tells us what he would tell people if he were about to die.
Yeah, it's good. So enjoy.
And so for me, going back to the videos of the word of the day, you'll laugh when I say this. There's no spreadsheet. They are totally spontaneous, but they're intentional. So the questions behind it of like, what are you doing today to do this? Or have you ever struggled with this? I know I have. Here's the word today that can compound or change this or break that or whatever. And so you'll laugh. Those videos are Johnny on the spot, just like how you and I are interacting right now.
So you're running. Are you like, hey, let's do one?
Yes. My friend Ryan, he's actually he's a coach, and he travels all over and he coaches pastors and leaders, and so he's like, you got one? I'm like, got it, let's go. And literally, I'm telling you, it's what you see, that's it. I mean, there's no editing or.
So last week there was one in Vegas. Did you know that lady, or was that? That's what I thought.
Marty, I did.
Because she did it all for you.
I know.
You were like, let's do the word of the day. And
I literally was like, you're stealing my thunder right now. Like you could see it on my face, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So.
But she did good. She.
So I knew she would crush it, but she absolutely knew. No, that was the second time she ever met me in my life. So I'll have to show you off the air, but I did probably about 20 of those videos while I was in Vegas. I just walk up to people, hey, what's something that you can help share with my friends?
That's awesome.
Blah, blah.
Value add for everybody.
It was hilarious. Oh my gosh, they loved it. They were like, can you text that to me? Or they're like, what's your Instagram name? I gotta follow you. Like, it was the funniest thing ever. But yes, she absolutely crushed it. So here's what I did with her. I looked her up, found out her name on Facebook. Facebook friended her, tagged her in that. This week I mailed her a card that said, I lucky because I met her at I met her at a slot machine. My phone was almost dead, and some of the slot machines have like cell phone. I wasn't even gambling or anything. I was just walking by and my friends were hanging out, and she was doing a little slot machine, and some of the slot machines have where you can charge your phone.
Okay.
Like the little charger phone. And I was like, hey, can I just let my phone sit here? That's the first time I met her. And she wore the little purple lanyard, and I knew she must be a MAPS coach.
Okay.
And so I was like, ooh, I go, are you famous? Like, I started asking her questions, and she started laughing. This is like at midnight one night. And so literally 2 days later, one of my friends was like, hey, that's that girl Amber that you saw at the... And I was like, oh. She's like, let's do a video with her. And I was like, oh, it's on.
She remembered you.
She remembered me, but she has not known anything about me as far as leadership or videos at all. And she absolutely crushed that video, doesn't she? And she's the one that did it. So I'm telling you, what you see, I didn't even just say, I just said, hey, can I do a video with you? I'll just do I just make up a word, and you got a word for the day? And she's like, yeah, let me see what I can do. That was it. What you saw was.
That's awesome.
So.
So how long have you been doing the word of the day? Like 10 years? Word of the week. Is it word of the week?
Word of the day, word of the week. I mean, I would say over 10 years. But I'm telling you, I haven't put any thought other than
Let's do this.
let's do it. Typically, when it comes to my generic, I have generic social media posts. So generic social media posts might be a listing or a closing or
Yeah.
something about lenders or whatever. And so I'll typically on a Wednesday, I'll do a static post that's either a quote, a picture of the skyline and
Yeah.
things like that. But as far as the videos, it's just whatever's on my mind. I might see your shirt and it might hit me with cute complaints at sea, and I might just go into a video. But I'll tell you this, it has to do with if you don't have anything in you,
Yes.
and so you can't do it Johnny on the spot because you've got to go read and kind of go, find something. And so I'm always reading and I know you are too. I need to do more of it with my new role, but I think you got to put in so you can share it with other people, and that's you being intentional.
And I think too, a quote I learned last year is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And too often we're afraid to put ourselves out there on social because we're like, I can't do the word of the day because Jeremy kills it every time. He's been doing it a decade. He's got it down. And so we're insecure. Well, because we play the compare game. But I think there's a lot more in us than we are willing to let out sometimes.
Marty, let me just say this. We've only met for just a short amount of time, but the things that you're sharing just now was totally me when I first started real estate. I was scared to make a post.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I had family members that said I probably wouldn't make it 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to church and there was tons of real estate agents that went there and they were crushing it. And I'm like, why would anyone want to work with me?
Better find a new church. I'm just kidding.
Right. But, and so I had this mindset that some of it was bad, right? Some of it was insecurity. Some of it was limiting beliefs. But I twisted it and said, I'm going to focus on people that don't know me. So I focused on expires for sell by owners, open houses. And that's where my first year of real estate, I got 12 transactions and only one of them was people that knew me. And so that's why I probably learned to get more confident with the people that did know me, because like I said, I had more insecurities with people that did know me versus the people that didn't know me. Because the people that didn't know me, if they rejected me, I didn't care if they rejected me.
Yeah.
Because they don't know me. You know what I mean? I always joke around and say, if you really know me, you're either going to hate me or love me. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, when you talk about comparison a lot, I didn't even hang out. My first 3 years of real estate, I didn't hang out with any agents. I didn't accept any friendships with them. I didn't want to hang out with agents because I'm like, what kind of value are you going to give me? Now my mindset shifted obviously a whole bunch, but that's when I had that scarcity mindset.
What do you mean? Can we talk about comparing? Because I think comparing ourselves is a killer. I mean, it just
totally is.
It makes us not want to try, not to want to push. It makes us feel inadequate. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and we're constantly. I mean, it's hard not to want to measure yourself up to somebody. So how do we get over that? How do we get over the comparison thing?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Or is that a mindset?
I'll be honest with you. I'm still dealing with that because.
Well, me too.
I worked a nonprofit job for 12 or 13 years. And so I've had this, maybe, and this is wrong mindset, just being open and honest and vulnerable, but I felt behind. I feel behind financially. I feel like there's other people that's and this is a totally wrong mindset, right? But I feel like there's people that are in the same age or the same place a lot further on because I spent so much time in a nonprofit world with lower income. We didn't go on vacations. We lived a very, very scaled back life. And so now I feel like I'm working for the wrong reasons and working too hard to try to play catch up. You see what I'm doing with my fingers of like trying to play catch up, and it does no good. And so I'm learning through my new role is to scale back a little bit and focus on what matters. And, just the whole like comparison trap is I'm looking at other people, right, to see where I'm at on some sort of made up scale of where I'm supposed to be at, if there's such a thing. And
the problem is that just changes. It's a moving scale, right? Because when you're making X amount, then you're comparing to the next guy up.
Yeah.
But when you're the next guy up, you're not looking back. There's a book, Benjamin Hardy, The Gap and the Gain.
Oh, power! I cry. I think he wrote that book specifically for me.
Yeah, but that's the comparison, right?
Yes.
We're never happy when we're in the gap, when we're moving forward, when we're trying to attain these perfect goals and aspirations. But when we measure backwards and we say, wow, look how far I came, now we can have a gratitude journal and we can fill it out every night because it's easy. And words flow because we're looking back, not forward. And we look forward, we're never happy.
I know. I will say this. I've had times where I've sat down and cried just being thankful for where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real estate program called Bold. And so, you're supposed to write a letter to yourself and, a year from now and doing those things. I remember writing that of like, I had this 5-year goal that I would get 5 properties in 5 years. I thought at that time, that was the biggest goal. I even thought
it was.
I thought even
it was the biggest goal.
I thought that was even unattainable for me. I was like,
you were stretching to do it.
I was stretching to do it. And now that I look back, I only got 5 properties within those 2 or 3 years. And then, not only was it 5, but now 6 or 7 and other things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, just the whole gratitude of like, Jeremy, relax. You've done more than you even set out to be.
Celebrate your victories.
I know. And I don't. Like, I have a hard time.
Have you read Be Your Future Self Now?
I have not.
Benjamin Hardy, same book.
Another one?
You need to add that.
Okay.
In that, the intro to that is talking about Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast he's 17 years old and he records himself today, I think like 6 months, 1 year, I think 5 years out and 10 years out. And he's talking like 5 years out, like, dude, I'm probably done with college now. I sure hope I'm still doing YouTube. I hope I have 1 million subs. Well, he blew it, blew it out. But not only did he do these, but he scheduled these to go out on their respective days.
Oh, wow.
And how powerful is that in regards to your future self? Like, we have no idea what we can do, but when we live that intentional life of, I'm going to try to do 5 houses. This is a big, audacious, scary goal. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that's
and then
huge.
we level up, right? And we get it, and we realize, oh, that wasn't too bad. I can do more.
Right. Well, and I'll say this. So this kind of maybe can relate to a lot of the listeners here, whether investors. You might have a goal of this. I call it big, hairy, audacious goal, right?
Gary Keller.
So many different properties. But then we got to go all the way back to the very beginning. What's going to take to get 7 properties or 10 properties? And it's going to take people.
Mm-hmm.
And so at my office, this month, we're having a goal of how many contacts. Real estate is a contact sport. Sales is a contact sport. The more contacts you make, the more opportunities there are for sales or transactions.
Yeah.
So for you as an investor, the more people that you're talking to about their properties, the more opportunities that you're going to have. And so I think sometimes, you might be intentional. How intentional are you being? I think sometimes it's easy to be intentional with the big goal. Hey, I want to make $100,000 a year, or hey, I want this. But then are you being intentional with the everyday actions, every week actions, monthly actions, quarterly, to reach that yearly goal? And I think that's where the rubber meets the road of like, hey, if you want to do that, you've got to be willing to do this. And then that's when people start questioning their goals. It's literally at the very first couple of steps, right? And it's like, what? And so I just heard a guest, incredible speaker, Mel Robbins. She wrote a book, The 5-Second Rule. meaning that when you're not wanting to do the things that you're supposed to do to move your business or to move your life forward, you count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and creates movement to do those things.
Did you learn that in Vegas?
I did.
I think I saw a post from you on Vegas
Yeah.
about that. Or someone else maybe. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No, she showed all kinds of videos, and
Sounds like parenting sometime.
it's so true. Well, and I feel like I have to do that to calm myself down. Okay, before I make this call, don't come off, with your first instinct or your first thought, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no. But
yeah, I love your intentionality. I love how you are focused on people. That would be the other thing I would see in you is you love people. You love them well. Have you read any Bob Goff stuff?
I haven't. I've met him before, but I haven't read
You
it.
would love Everybody Always.
I need to read that.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, Bob Goff is super intentional, super purpose driven. He does so much.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be a cool guest to have on here.
I know. We need to bring him on.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now with Kelly Williams and this new opportunity to
what a
mentor other people.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When I first started real estate, I was certified by John Maxwell. I've been through tons of leadership training. There's a whole difference though in reading and actually applying, right? I always say there's difference in theory and reality. And so when I got into real estate, I was in a horrible place, depressed, tons of credit card debt because I just jumped in. It was like a one last shot at life, kind of all in. Didn't save any money for it. My wife was kind of the main sole provider, honestly, at that time. And there was a guy that I saw walking up and down the halls. He was a productivity coach. And I looked at him and I was like, one of these days, I'm going to be like him. And that was kind of what pushed me, that one of these days, I'm going to be like him. And it's so cool that 8 years down the road, I'm in the same role that he's in. And I never would have imagined it to be this early. I was thinking 10 years, 15 years, but year 8, I'm in this role. Team leader role, just really it's about, helping people with their production, helping growing them, helping them set up for success. And then obviously the company as a whole will grow. And so my goal this year is twofold. It's focus on culture. Because if you can focus on making the culture attractive, you can attract other Asians. And then 2 is focus on the growth of the people. So whether being intentional about making them feel good, creating steps to help them grow their life. Because in a real estate, your first 90 days is so critical to the rest of your career. They say that if you don't make a transaction with those first 90 days, it's so hard to get a transaction. I think that says the average new agent, their first year is maybe like 3 to 5 transactions.
Is that because of the mindset spiral?
It's mindset and just getting out there. And I mean, it's a hard business. I mean, it's a hard getting out and it's a hard business. And so even just like as an investor, I'm kind of twisting it in an investor world. It's like, you got to go out there with those 90 days because you have this big dream, big goal to get a deal. And I feel like so many people just sit on the sidelines and watch you get all the deals, watch other people get deals, and they're waiting for their first unicorn deal. And it's like, man, just
gotta go do it.
Just get in the game. I know my first investment property was it wasn't an MLS deal. I was going to list it on the MLS, and I just said, hey, I'll buy it. It was a turnkey deal, downtown Edmond, and I just bought it. And so now,
pocket listing in your own pocket?
In my own pocket. I basically said, hey, listen, I can sell it to you. I won't take any commission. I basically lowered it by 6%. And I said, hey, I won't have to schedule photos. I'll just do an inspection on it. You don't have to worry about all the things. I helped him buy a brand new construction home so we could work on the timing of it.
Wow.
And that was what he was worried about. And I said, hey, I'll just take care of it. And long story short, though, just out of that simple turnkey, it was barely a 1%. Not even, I don't even know if it was like an official 1%. Yeah. But out of that, I think I have like $55,000 in equity.
That's awesome.
What if I was just waiting for the perfect unicorn?
Well, and that's the other thing that happens. People hear this and they say, well, Jeremy did a deal and he's got 50,000 of equity. So I need to find that deal. But you just got to get in there, right?
Yeah.
And get that base hit and let it grow.
And because that was and since then, that was my worst deal. Every deal since then have gotten a little bit better, because you get experience.
Yeah.
You run your numbers a little bit better or different, and you learn some things. But I think if it wasn't for that one deal, who knows where I would be at? Does that make sense? You're still searching. I think so many people, I see them at all these meetups, and I'm like, you kind of want to
make a step, analysis paralysis. Just go make a deal.
It's almost like they are. I kind of joke around. I almost think they're like for sale by owners. They're just scared to make that jump, and they have so many questions and so many things. I'm like, you almost want to just take them and throw them in the water. You know what I mean? Just push them in and just say, dude, this is yours. Just do it or whatever.
My problem, Jeremy, I get in trouble because I jump in sometimes too quick.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah.
Has your wife gotten on to you about that yet?
Well, my wife is the opposite. But early in our marriage, Ezekiel actually was lactose intolerant. And so we were going to get a goat to milk so that we could give him goat's milk. And she sent me to this farm to buy a goat. And all that we had for transportation at the time was a minivan. And so I load this. Well, I decided to buy all 11 goats from the farmer.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And I load them all up in the van. And I don't think I had a cell phone to call my wife. So I get home, it's dark. And I'm like, hey, I bought the whole herd. And he gave me the milk stanchions as well. I had them tied to the top. I mean, it was redneck. I was a youth pastor at the time. This is where it gets wilder. So we knew we were getting a goat, so I'd put a tarp down and I'd pulled the seats. And then it was fairly clean when we got out. But what I didn't look at was the cup holders. And about a week later, I was driving some youth around in our minivan, and a kid pulls up. He goes, "What are these? Pieces of poop?
Yeah.
They're chocolate covered raisins." And
Oh my God.
I was like, "Oh, we had the goats in there." But anyway, yeah, that's my problem. Is I tend to jump in too quick, and sometimes get myself in trouble.
You're the risky guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Ask for forgiveness later.
I'm
just teasing.
Yeah. We need to wrap this up. I know you and I could talk all day, but I got 2 questions. First question is most influential book that you would say in your life.
Well, number one, obviously the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read it enough. I know I should. I would say the second book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I used to read that every January, every year, just as like a refresher on going into the year, making sure my mindset is kind of within those habits. And then the third thing is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean, that book is like, I don't know, written maybe in the 50s or 40s.
Yeah.
And there's still things that I share today that come from that book.
Well, those are fundamentals. They don't change about people and relating to people and talking.
Or any other relationship book, they probably stole a nugget or 2 from that original book. So those 3 books are probably, they're more relational, and you could take those 3 things and have it applied in all areas of your life. So
Covey's book, it was written in the 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this probably isn't true, but I feel like the books we're reading today, these self-help books today, probably came from paragraphs or chapters from that book.
Totally.
Like a guy read it and it's like, oh, that's so good. I'm going to apply just that principle. And then 10 years later, he writes this book.
Right. No, I totally agree.
It's the fundamental of all self-help.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Second question. You got 1 week to live. And I say that because there's more urgency to this. What is the message you would want to give out? You often you often see this with people at the end of their life. They want to say one thing. So let's pretend you got 1 week. And what message would you want to leave with the audience in regards to intentional living or loving on people? What would that be from Jeremy?
Gosh, it's so good. There's not even like a word to describe it. So here's what I feel like so many people struggle with, and I feel like at the end of your life, what really matters. I think just loving people, letting stuff go, like the things that, the bitterness, the offense, whatever struggles that you're going. I've seen people in deathbed. I've even seen people just letting those things go that they've held on for so long. It has honestly probably affected their health because they held on to those things so long. Gosh, in my family, it's so crazy. You kind of see me as happy, positive, but man, I've got some crazy family dynamics with different relatives, different people. And it's just so sad that you see people, they take something and they get bitter, ugly.
They never let it go.
They never let it go. And you're just like, man. And I just never want to be that person that allows an offense to affect everybody else in my future self. So I don't know if that helps you, but I just think in those last weeks, I'm going to be just like, whatever just holding me back, hopefully I'm not, because you're not going to bring it then, right?
Yeah.
And I just think so many people hold on to so many things, and it's affecting your future self. And I always think about this when I worked at Red Lobster. You'd get a bad tip, and you'd make a decision in that moment. Am I going to allow that one bad tip to affect the next table, to affect the next table, to affect the next table? And so I think, and I don't know if that's any helpful to you, but I just think so many times that in our last days or in our last week to live, like what matters? And just letting a lot of that just fluff and bitterness and offense, just letting it go. So.
Yeah, that bitterness can really grow into something ugly. And kind of talking about, we talked about earlier, compounding. You don't even realize it. You can't even speak to that family member because they're going to take it the wrong way.
Well, you could, like I said, the person that you saw that goes all the way isolated, it could have happened from one moment of an offense, and it literally just, and they're not even the same person anymore. And you're like, man, they had so much potential.
They hung on to one thing.
Yeah. Instead, for me, I've had a lot of busted deals, and I've kind of, you probably know this too, but I'm like, man, I'm gonna try to be as, have a rhino thick skin, but then love people as love people as much as I can. And so when things come at me, I'm gonna try not to take it personal and just saying, hey, things happen, but at the same time, I'm not gonna allow that person to harden my heart to affect the next people that's coming into my life. So.
Yep.
Man, this was fun. We should do this more often.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Awesome. I hope this is well. I hope they cleaned up all the mess on the editing stuff. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Thank you. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share. And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com, mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.